Hello, Tacoma. This is Scott Willard, and thank you for joining me for the Congruence podcast. Congruence, where faith and life comes together, and I am happy to be with you today. Yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day. So, Thanksgiving week, I want to talk about being thankful. So, what I want to start talking about when I think about thankfulness, I'm here at BD Local. I love these guys. And they have been so good to me, and I'm really thankful for them. And a couple weeks ago, I shoot and tape on Tuesdays. So it was election day, and I said I wanted to have recommendations for pizza. And the one recommendation that I got was for Solomon's. And I got to tell you, that was a miserable experience. And it was election night, right? So let's be real. It was a horrible night. Lots of people had the same idea that I had, I guess. And it took like an hour and a half for our pizza to get to us. And then when we had called twice. The second time we called, we were told that the ticket got lost. How exactly the driver loses a ticket, I have not figured out yet. In my mind, the driver loses a ticket when he gives your pizza to someone else. But I don't know. I don't know if that was code for he has buds that are having a party down the street. I don't know. But anyway, they went ahead, they made another pizza, and like 40 minutes later, we had a pizza. And it was really good. But by that point, stomach was a bit soured because of the experience. And so it was a difficult restaurant experience. Why does this come up when I want to talk about Thanksgiving? Well, it comes up because when I came back to the studio a week later and they asked me, well, how was your pizza? I mean, Sadie was so excited. How was your pizza? And Tim was like right there with her. And I was like, it wasn't such a good experience. And I shared this story with them and they're like, oh, dude, you need to call. I'll send you the number. You need to call. They will make this right. We know these people. They're good people. Not only do they make one of the best pizza pies in Tacoma, but they're good people. Call them. They'll figure this out. They'll make it right. So I did. It took me like a week. And it wasn't on them. It was on me. But I called them and I said, so this is what we experienced. And they were like, no attempts to like flower us up and make excuses. It was just like, yeah, no, sorry, that sucks. What can we do to make it right? And I told them about this crazy idea. I said, you know what? I came here because of my peeps at BD Local. And they're the ones that talked me into calling you. So this is my crazy idea. If you were to sponsor one of my shows, I would talk about Solomon's and how awesome the pizza pies are, because truthfully, it was a really good pizza. And that would help me because it would pay for one of my episodes. It would give back to BD Local because it'd be putting money in their pockets. They're the guys that recommended you. And so what do you think about that idea? And he's like, you know what? I like that idea, but I want to do you just one better. Here's the idea. I'm sorry that I should not have lapsed into accent, but he does have a bit of an accent. It's a little bit of a New York accent. I'm thinking we got a New York crust for a reason. I'm thinking. Anyway, he's like, so what if we did this? What if I gave you a gift certificate and I gave you a gift certificate to give to BD Local and they can just take that in exchange for one of your episodes? I'm like, huh, how cool does that sound? So that's what we did. And I said, so what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say about this experience? He says, honest to God, I want you to speak truth. Tell them about your experience. And then tell them that you called me and I made it right. Well, that's what I have to say. I called. He made it right. Not only did he make it right, but he made it right for BD Local too, because they're the ones that made the recommendation. And when I leave the studio today, I will be leaving a beautiful gift card that looks just like this for my good friends and neighbors at BD Local, so that they can share the love of Salomon's Pizza. All right. I had, I said I want to talk about Thanksgiving. The last couple of weeks, talked just a little bit about how we cope with change that we don't like, that we have no control over. And I had one of those experiences this weekend. And I'm not sure how well I'll talk about it. So if I get emotional, I'm sorry. My mother-in-law passed away very unexpectedly. I had just been talking to her. And it's funny. I talked to my boys about how oftentimes the greatest gifts that we get in our life are the product of the greatest challenges that we experience. So think of this, right? Any normal year, do you honest to God believe you could get a phone call at 10:30 in the morning and get tickets from Kansas City or St. Louis to get here into Seattle by 5:30? Any given year at Thanksgiving, do you feel like you could do that on the Saturday before Thanksgiving? I got to tell you, it doesn't happen. Somehow, Holly's sister got here by 5:30. She was able to spend quality time at the hospital with her mom. Her brother got here from Kansas, literally made it like 15 minutes late. Her niece and baby got here from St. Louis. They were able, well, not the baby, but mom, our niece, was able to spend time with Gail at the hospital. I had a privilege that I've only had a few times in my life, tapping into that pastoral side of who I am and what I do. I had the opportunity to go and pray with her and do last rites. The challenge, and Holly asked me how I was doing, and it's like, honest to God, this is There are things in my life that I really like. Gail is one of the things in my life I really like. I like spending time with her. She was fun. And we would do stupid stuff, right? I had this bizarre Cajun accent, and I would go on and just riff like I was this Cajun moonshiner that had this stupid alligator, and um, she would riff right with me. She was hilarious. Um, and then she was one of these people. She would find like the chink in your armor, and God help you when she did, because she wouldn't let up. Like Seth Groban, non-stinking stop. I'm telling you, people, killing me, killing me. She would play it. I would come down. She stayed with us. She stayed with Holly and I for a couple of months, and I would come down every morning to make coffee. And you know what I'd hear? On Eagle's Wings by our good friend Seth Groban. Oh, killed me. And then we'd go on these car trips, right? We just take her for a day trip to go somewhere, and we take her with us. And so, Mom, what do you want to listen to? Oh, I don't know. How about the Bee Gees? Scott, you like the Bee Gees, don't you? Oh, not so much. But boy, am I staying alive for the next hour and a half in the car. She was one of those people. She liked to just, once she found something, she would niggle at it non-stinking stop. One of the other bizarre gifts that came during this time was resolving this complaint with Salomon's. And, we've got all these people in town dealing with this just yucky stuff. My own mother passed away when I was, I think I was 21, maybe 22. I was 22. She lived long enough to see Kyle born and to see me graduate college, and then she passed. And my adopted father passed away. I think that we're coming up on 6 years ago. And for some reason, it has hit me as hard watching Gail pass, someone I've known for just a few short years, as it did my own family. And the closing the loop with Salomon's Pizza is that I had this gift certificate, so I was able to feed the family for $10 because the gift certificate and $10 got me 2 massive pies, and they were amazing. But where I was going to head with this next is just talking about how people make such an impact on us. Just a few short years that I've known Gail, and I desperately miss her already. And she just passed Saturday night. It's funny, she, in the past would talk with Holly and I, and she would say things about like, well, I don't want to have a funeral. I mean, geez, who would come? No one would come. And Holly and I are like, what are you talking about? You'd probably fill the place up. Gail had this way about her. She just endeared herself. Her sense of humor and the gregarious, charismatic way that she had about her, she just had this way of attracting people to her. There's no way that she would have been alone at a funeral. She would have packed the house. And I just, thinking about that thought of how on the other side of challenging and difficult times, we find joy. We find happiness. As we approach Thanksgiving, I just want to encourage people to pay attention to the people in your lives. You want to live in such a way that you'd fill the house on your way out, right? The loss is for the ones that are left behind. The first one to go isn't really experiencing any loss. It's the people that are hanging around after they're gone. The first to leave us are the ones that are found the quickest, right? I mean, I have absolutely no doubt that Gail is spending quality time right now in heaven with Fred and with her friends and loved ones that passed before her. People, that we talk to are, well, we'll be praying. And it's like, well, don't don't waste a lot of time and effort praying for Gail. Gail's taken care of. Gail's in a good space. The family could certainly appreciate your prayers and your good thoughts. Gail's in a good place. When she and I spoke last, she was kind of upset with me, and she wasn't really upset with me. She was upset with someone else, and she was just kind of like telling me, "Look, you got to tell him. I'm 79 years old. I'm not coming back from this." She was talking about a heart condition and a lung issue that she was struggling with. And she had just gone on to an oxygen tank, and I'm not coming back from this, and I'm done. I'm ready. It's like, well, the issue isn't about people not believing that you're done with this or people not believing that you're ready. The issue is that we don't want you to give up too quickly. And she paused, and she got the most beautiful look on her face. And she says, "Scott, I'm kind of excited about seeing my Creator's face. I'm ready." That was 2 days. 2 days between telling me how ready she was and when she was gone. She woke up that Saturday morning in extreme pain, went to the ER, and they found that she had like this cluster of blood clots in her lungs. And they knew, just immediately, they knew. So everyone dropped and came. And that's the kind of life I want to live, is the kind of life where everyone would drop everything and they'd fly across the country to be here for me. Not to mourn my loss, but to celebrate my transition. The real reason why Gail didn't want a funeral wasn't because she didn't think people would show up. The issue was that she didn't want people to be sad. She wanted people to celebrate right along with her. She lived a long life. 79 years is a long life. It's not 80, it's not 85, it's not 90, it's not 95, but 79 years is a long life. It's a good life that she lived. And she lived it the way she wanted to live it. She was happy. So just amazing gifts. They didn't seem that amazing at the time. They just seemed like Wow. But no other year would you be able, at the last minute, to get tickets like that the Saturday before Thanksgiving. 3 people, cross country. That's that's a miracle. That's what that is. And they got to say goodbye to their mom. We got frustrated on election night about, where's our pie? Where's our pie? This is how I'm going to make it up to you. I'm going to give you 2 gift certificates, one for you and one for those awesome people at BD Local, Sadie and Tim. A gift certificate and $10. That's all it took to feed a household of people trying to come to terms, trying to do our best to celebrate a life well lived. So we're 2 days away from Thanksgiving, in the midst of a tumultuous time. Racial divide, job loss, COVID-19 and social isolation, fear about the future. One of the most contested presidential elections in our history. I'm curious about what gifts you will find on the other side. When you gather with your family, whether it's in your living room, whether it's around your coffee table, dining room, Zoom, I don't know. When you gather with your family for Thanksgiving, what are you going to be thankful for? Honestly, the things that come up the most consistently as I talk to people is that they have time. They have time to be with family in a way that they have not experienced forever. If you haven't started thinking about what the gifts are in the midst of your challenges, I really hope that you will. And I hope that you will find that the greatest gift that you've gotten out of this COVID situation, challenge, plague, I don't care what you call it. Just don't call it a hoax. Don't disrespect the people that have gotten deathly ill and died because of this. But whatever you call this time, I hope that the gift that you walk away from it with will be the gift of a closer connection to the people you love. That you'll take the time. That you'll use your imagination, your creativity, ingenuity to spend time with the people you love. Whether it's on a phone, whether it's on a Zoom call, FaceTime, Messenger, I don't care. Find the time to connect, because that's what's going to matter in the long run. And like we talked about when we were talking about how do you cope with change that you don't like and that you don't have control over. And I talked about trying to find the gift that's on the other end of it. I really hope that you will. I hope that you'll be looking for the gift. I hope you'll find ways to flow with the changes that are going on in life. I was doing an interview today with a young woman that was thinking about wanting to come to work for my organization. The tough challenge for her is that her career and her success has been all about hospitality. With one of the major corporations in our region managing hospitality services for them. And guess what? There's no hospitality going on right now. We don't need party planners because people ain't getting together. It's just, there's no party to be had. So finding themselves laid off. And in the midst of it, you know what was attractive about the conversation? What she said, you know, I was making good money. I was really being successful. I was working 60, 70 hours a week. But you know what? It wasn't feeding my soul. And I want to do work that feeds my soul. That's the gift. It's horrible. The confusion, the weirdness about being laid off, the fear about, well, how do I pay for my apartment in downtown Seattle? What am I going to do? But the gift is that now she gets to explore what is the work that will feed my soul instead of sucking the life out of me. And so she's been working nonstop at home, working with family members, trying to plan their holidays. You know, she's not planning events for corporate America. She's planning events for her family right now. But there's a gift in that she's spending time with family. What are the gifts that you'll find in the midst of your challenge? I don't know yet what the gift I will find in the midst of this challenge. I'm still looking. I'm still trying to be sensitive and open to those things to be revealed. I mean, one of them is what I see, and it may be crazy pragmatic, but I see that 3 people being able to travel from the Midwest and be here for their dying mom that quick. The Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving holiday. I see that as a miracle. So being able to see a miracle is one of the gifts that I'm starting to see. The fact that people don't have to be so crazed about getting back to work. Not only is it a holiday week, but it's also a holiday week in the midst of social isolation. So people aren't expected to be at an office. You can work and deal with this stuff. And Holly and I were expecting to have Thanksgiving alone this year. And now we're spending Thanksgiving with all of her family. There are gifts. I've been able to share things that I haven't been able to share with other people. Been able to take her brother for runs at Point Defiance to see the trails and to love those the way I do. Today we got to go run across the Narrows Bridge. Never done that before. By the way, it's a trip. You should try it. Wow. My calves hurt so bad. But it's a gift. I got to do it. And I'm alive. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Look for the gifts around the table. Celebrate life. Celebrate your family. Celebrate the gifts that come in the midst of challenge. Thank you for joining me. This is not the crazy animated Scott that a lot of folks are used to seeing on this show. I'm just being real. This is hard. But I also really wanted to share this with you. So thank you for joining. Bye now. I'll see you next week.